hope you can't hear that. There's some kind of critter outside. Anyway, I'm really excited to do this. I think these are so much fun. And I use this Guidance Oracle. And this first one is the nature of my past life. And I'll get to the other ones here in a minute. But the nature of your past life is, and this deck is all goddesses from different countries, different religions. There's some Egyptian, there's some African, there's some Buddhist and Hindu, and any kind of goddess. And there's even Mary Magdalene in there. I'm not really familiar with this card, so I'm going to read the book, but it says, take a risk and put your heart's true desires into action. And I thought it was funny that her name kind of sounds like your name, but I think it's pronounced differently. So it says, pronounced Anya. She's a powerful Celtic goddess and fairy queen who gave birth to incarnated fairies from her romances with mortal men. Ooh. She is revered in Ireland for helping to grow crops and oversee animals. You can call upon her when you need additional guidance and the courage to take risks. Various meanings of this card is heaven supports you fully on your mission. Your material needs will be taken care of. Break your dream into achievable baby steps so it's easier to start and keep going. So, kind of sounds like you had several lovers. Ireland, so I think, and this could be one of many lives, or this could be your most significant life, and we won't know until we get into the cards, but, so I'm going to try something a little different, and so I'm using this, and then I've used a different deck for the rest of the cards. And then what I'm going to do is try and read these as a group first, and then I'll read them individually. Just to show you a little bit of my desk, please don't let the skulls scare you. Skulls are very ancient and hold a lot of wisdom. And this bottle is some snow water that I collected in the mountains. This is a wand for cleansing energy. I wish you could feel this. It is extremely cold to the touch. And it looks like an icicle. This is selenite. And this is also selenite. So I'm sure if I put this on here, it would change colors too. Yeah, see, that changes colors. That's really cool. But selenite, and the crystals have different meanings, but selenite is, it connects you to your angels and to your higher self. And this is clear quartz, and it helps amplify, whatever you're doing. So, I have the clear quartz with the selenite, so it amplifies and makes the selenite stronger. And I've got this this antler, and I also have an antler for my jewelry to hang on. And this, I'm not sure how this was harvested because someone gave it to me. But this, I don't know if you can see, but at the bottom, this is a natural shed that someone picked up in the woods. So I would prefer natural shed antlers over harvested antlers, but I like the way it feels. But anyway, I know you didn't ask, I didn't want to know, but, and this is amber, and then I have a Archangel Michael candle for protection. I have an angel, and this is Palo Santo, which is a type of cleansing wood, which that's what this is. And before each reading, I say a little prayer. And the crystal ball, because I just think it looks cool. And sometimes you can't get messages from crystal balls, but I think, and sometimes you can see different shapes in there. Right now you're seeing what's behind it, but if I held it in my hand, sometimes, let's see, on a neutral background, so like the table, if you look into it, and kind of, do you remember those pictures at the mall that you would have to unfocus your eyes? That's what you have to do with a crystal ball. But you want a neutral or a black background, so, and then what you do is you kind of let this put you into, you let this calm you, and your higher self should come through with either some pictures or a message. And just from talking to you a little bit earlier, I'm feeling right now that you need a little bit of lightness in your life, and that's why I lit a bunch of candles, and I'm making it soothing. And anyway, enough of me rambling, because this might be a long video too. I don't know, it seems like your videos are longer than most. If you go to my YouTube channel, I do have a couple of other readings up, and some of them are like 5 minutes, boom, done. And some, like yours, was almost half an hour. And I'm sorry, but I feel like there's some messages you needed to hear. But anyway, like I said, this card seems like you had a couple of lovers and a bunch of children. So, anyway, on to, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna lay these out together and try to remember them in order, and then I'll try to read them as a group, and it might not work, because I've never done that before. A friend of mine, she actually reads for me. That's how she does it, and she does it mostly intuitively without the book, and maybe I'll get there one day, who knows. But, and then this is black kyanite, which is is also to cleanse. So you could use the smoke to cleanse, you could use the snow water to cleanse. I charge that in the moonlight, and then you could use all that also to cleanse. So it cleanses any negativity. And the way that the lady I got this from explained it, and see, it looks kind of like a witch's broom. I thought that was really cute. But the way she explained it to me is that you could even touch your phone and just go like, and it takes away any negativity. So, and like jewelry, if you wear any crystal jewelry, you will want to cleanse it too, because it can take on negative energy. So you just go boom, 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 poof, 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 poof. And she said it's kind of like a lightsaber. It's just like zoom. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna pause this and then lay the rest of the cards out. Okay. This card represents the internal nature of, it represents the true self of that past life. This is the external demeanor, how everyone else sees you. This is the, your life's purpose. Maybe I drew too many cards. Yeah. I drew too many cards. I'm sorry. This is a freebie card, I guess. I will read this if I feel it's necessary. But anyway. And then this is a memory. Or message from this past life or a memory. So, Artie, what this is telling me is that you felt trapped up in a tower. And you felt very vulnerable and lonely. And all of these swords, you feel like everybody is attacking you. Everybody's out to get you. The true self of this, maybe you were a king. So like the other one said, you were a queen that had a bunch of fairy babies and had a lot of lovers and had a lot of children. Maybe you were like Henry VIII. Not Henry VIII, but that you killed all your lovers. But maybe you were a king, a royal king in Ireland. Wow, this is crazy. And I will go through and read the book about all these different cards, but you are a king, and he looks like he is in control. And he looks like he is trying to seduce. I've not worked with this deck a lot. This is the Gilded Tarot. And the one that I used for your other reading, the Greenwich Tarot, is the one that I'm most familiar with. But the Gilded Tarot, this one was actually given to me, so I've only worked with it a few times, but yeah. So this is the your true self, which you were a swarthy king. The external demeanor, how everyone else saw you. Everyone else saw you as a mystery. Because she's got her face covered. But they kind of saw you up on a pedestal. So that kind of makes sense. If you were a king and you had a bunch of wives or girlfriends or mistresses, that they would see you as mysterious and up on a pedestal. And also her outfit's kind of fun. So maybe you were, I don't know if you've ever watched The Tudors, but they had some amazing parties. So maybe you were partying it up. Okay, and this is the your life's purpose. What you were put here to do in that life. And I think you got Two of Pentacles in the other one, which is you're trying to balance. You're trying to balance finances and in your personal life. And like I said, this is a message or a memory. So this is a message from your past life. And then this card, I will say that this card is, I wrote down just a couple questions. And I'm going to put this as power from that past life that you need to embrace, which is the Seven of Wands, and I have no idea what that means, but he's kind of dressed as not a knight or not a king, but more like a jester maybe. So maybe you need more fun in your life. So I'm gonna turn to the book, and I'm gonna quickly run through these, but that's my interpretation. And what I'll do is I'll take a picture of these, if you want. I take a picture just for my benefit in case someone ever comes back and says, hey, by the way, like the other one, that night, I read in the book, and then after talking to you, I realized, what it actually meant. It didn't mean the young fun, but it did mean the protector. So, Oh, and this is the world, so they could have seen you as, like, extremely important. Like, the most important person in that area. Girl, you was a king. Because back then, in, like, medieval times, or, I mean, this could be more recent, who knows, but in medieval times, women were only seen as, especially queens, were only seen as property and to bear more children and to keep and to do you get what I'm trying to say? But I think you were a king. I think you were a dude. And what's interesting is that you know, we 50-50 have male lives and female lives. I have had one male life that I know of, and the majority of my lives I think I've been a woman, but and you know, and there's absolutely no way to know unless you open your Akashic records, which I'll message you about that later. But anyway, so I'm gonna turn to the book. And then I'm going to go over these one by one just really quickly, so this is not another 30-minute long video, unless that's what you like. Anyway, I'm going to pause this and turn to the book, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm going to make this real quick because my phone just said, plug me in. Anyway, it says, King of Wands, a strong-willed man sits comfortably in his throne, gazing at his flame-tipped wand. He is mesmerized to the exclusion of all else. So you're very self-centered. Sorry. But kings should be self-centered. You are focused, determined, and driven. Something has your full attention, and you are channeling all of your energy and skill in that direction. You have a strong sense that you are right in all things concerning this venture. Your ambition or social needs are engaged. For now, that is all that matters. Yeah, so being a king, you did have to socialize. But you, like I said, Henry VIII was extremely self-centered and extremely, had a one-track mind. So I think, not that you were Henry VIII, because good Lord, but you were a one-track, strong-willed, sometimes pompous king. That is, the internal nature of your true self. Okay, this is how everyone else saw you in that past life. A woman stands with poise, dignity, and assurance. She stands before the world, surrounded by laurel wreaths indicating her mastery. She holds wands representing her will in both hands. Unlike other figures in the major arcana, her will is in tune with both sides of herself. She's achieved balance of her consciousness and unconsciousness. She celebrates great accomplishment. For this, she is recognized by the world and, more importantly, by her own self. So, everyone saw you as very accomplished. Okay. This is the internal nature, external demeanor, your life purpose. On the shore, a man balances two pentacles of mastery, and ease of his skill creates a rainbow, making the act seem magical. The representation of the other suits, the dolphin, which would be intelligence or swords, water, which represents cups, and fiery light of the rainbow indicates wands, indicates a deep overall balance that allows for the easy control of everyday life. Like the High Priestess, Major Arcana 2, existing between poetry and science, this gentleman dances through life, juggling work and joy. So, yeah, so your life purpose was to find balance in being that royal figure and also enjoying your life, which I think a lot, you know, I have unhealthy obsession with medieval times, and a lot of kings, they found it very difficult to enjoy their lives because they had so much responsibility of keeping your line going. Your country was always at war, and also having a family life. A lot of kings didn't have a family life. They sent their kids off to, they had tutors and they had teachers and nannies, and they sometimes sent their kids to live in the countryside because they didn't have time to raise their children. They had other people raise their children for them, which I think would be very lonely, because, even the husbands of kings and queens, they didn't even share the same bedroom. But anyway, on to the next card.